Hello and welcome to Dabbling in Journals, and today I'm going to be sharing some of the entries in my commonplace book. I haven't used my commonplace book in a while, so it's going to be really fun to share it with you. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with commonplace books, they are, and I quote, a personal compilation of knowledge, ideas, quotations and observations collected by an individual. So you're sort of organising information into a notebook. Now, when I was still working, I would use a commonplace book for work. So I would be doing research, reading papers, reading books, and any interesting ideas that I wanted to include in my own work, I would note down in my commonplace book, and any quotations I wanted to use in my own work, and I would organise them with things that I agreed with and things that I didn't agree with, so that I could produce arguments. Now, I don't need to do that anymore because I'm not working anymore, but I still keep a commonplace book because it's fun. And the only difference is that I decorate now. So I decorate my commonplace book. Now, I don't use it very much, and I wish I used it more actually, because when I do, I enjoy it. As you can see, I started this one in 2021 and I haven't got very far. I do have an index, so I left a few pages at the beginning. Oh, I should have said this is an MD notebook in the A6 size, and the cover is a chic sparrow folio in the March hair colour of the Carol collection, which I think was discontinued a long time ago. I have this lovely little initial charm that was a gift from my lovely YouTube friend over at Snippets and Scraps, and I love it. And I also have a pen on here, which is a Queco Sport pen in the colour Macchiato. So back to this. So I left a few pages blank for an index. The idea behind the commonplace book is that you're organising things that you want to reflect on in the future, or remember, or use in your work, or just, for me, it's just to keep my brain active. So I number my pages, and then I can have a quick look in my index if I want to go to a particular topic. And I've already shared this, so I've shared the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 topics, and today I'm going to look at the section that I've started on the topic of emotions. So let us move. Where are we? So that was the last page of the previous topic. And here we go. And I decided that I would use a kind of coffee theme for my decoration, because that's always fun. I love coffee, and so I always like having an opportunity to use my coffee stickers. So my first quotation here says, "Our emotions have a mind of their own, one which can hold views quite independently of our rational mind." And that's from David Goleman. And I really liked this one because I have a lot of experience in my own personal mental world of emotions that have a mind of their own, partly because I have emotions from my past that are sort of hidden behind amnesia, and sometimes they just intrude. So I get an emotion, I feel an emotion that's totally not relevant to my current situation and seems completely independent of my rational mind. But I think it's also a fairly common occurrence, because if you think about something like feeling frightened of a harmless house spider. Now, if you live in the UK, the spiders in our houses are harmless. So it's not like Australia or the US where there might be poisonous spiders. These spiders are harmless, and we know that they're harmless, and yet loads of people are scared of them. And if you think about fear as being the belief that you're in danger and the desire not to be harmed, so if a lion runs into my room, I'm going to believe I'm in danger and I'm going to not want to be harmed, and that's fear, yeah? So that's one way of understanding fear. But the trouble is, it doesn't work when we're trying to understand things like fear of a harmless house spider, because how can you believe you're in danger if you also believe that the spider is harmless? You can't believe those two things at the same time. So it makes emotions quite an interesting, certainly for me as a philosopher, it makes them an interesting phenomenon to explore. So that was my first quotation. I've just used some washi tape. This is a really simple decoration. I've drawn around it with a colour pencil and done some little dotty things. And I've put some of my favourite washi tape, which was a gift from Emily. Thank you, Emily. And some stickers that were a gift from Jackie that I found the other day. And I thought, oh, I'm going to use those again. So I've got those out at the moment as it happens. So Thank you, Jackie. Did I say that? I hope I did. I love them. And it's really simple decoration, but I just think it looks nice. When I'm flicking through my book, as well as having all these interesting quotations, I've got all this pretty decoration to enjoy. And I enjoy doing it as well, which of course is the main point. Do what you enjoy. If you don't want to decorate your commonplace book, you certainly don't need to. And if you just want to do an art journal and you don't want to include quotations, you can do that. I like kind of doing this hybrid. So this is my next quotation, and it's from Oscar Wilde, the novelist. And he says, "I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, to enjoy them, and to dominate them." So that's really interesting, I think, because this idea that you should be in control of your emotions, but that doesn't have to mean you don't experience emotions. You should enjoy them. I mean, things like joy, happiness, love, gratitude, these are all really positive emotions that can enrich your life and that you can enjoy. And sometimes negative emotions are appropriate. So you might feel angry when somebody has wronged you. That's appropriate. If you felt murderous rage, that might be a bit much. Murderous rage is rarely appropriate. I guess there's some situations where you might think it is, but yeah, you want your emotions to be appropriate to the particular circumstance and to dominate them. And I think this is something that I often feel I want to do. I want to be in control of them. I don't want them controlling me. Now, maybe that's not the right idea to have. So I'm going to be thinking about this one a lot. Do I need to dominate my emotions, or do I just need to create the right kind of emotional response to things? So, well, think about that. So I think that's a really interesting one. Do you know, I haven't read an Oscar Wilde novel for, I reckon I was a teenager when I read The Picture of Dorian Gray. And this decoration, I've just done a little bit of paper tearing, put some of this pet tape. I love this pet tape. This is it's got dog hairs on it. This is the one from London Gifties. And so I've used some of that and some stickers and this little washi sample. And I think that's a Sticky Club sticker. And I think that looks really lovely. And I like the way I've done a raggedy edge. And this washi tape is an empty washi tape, and it's just got all different kinds of clips on it, which when you put them on your quotation look really cool. I'm trying to find the end to show you. So this is, as I said, an MT washi tape, and you see it's got all these different kinds of clips on it. Really cool. I love this washi tape. This is one of the ones that I've seen on a YouTube video and then hunted down because I really liked it. So that's that page. Now this page, this is a more serious quotation about emotions, and because it comes from Anne Frank, I didn't feel it suited a coffee decoration. I wasn't really sure what kind of decoration suited something from a tragic figure like Anne Frank, but I did think that the quotation was useful and interesting to include because she says, "But feelings can't be ignored, no matter how unjust or ungrateful they seem." So sometimes you might feel resentment towards somebody who's trying to help you because they irritate you. Now, you can't ignore those feelings. They're going to be there, but they're not necessarily appropriate. So it kind of fits in with this kind of overarching theme that I'm wanting to think about at the moment is how do we manage emotions that are inappropriate or difficult to experience? How do we manage those? Is there any way that we can get some kind of control over them? So I thought that was an interesting one to think about. And I've just decorated this again with some scraps of paper, some washi tape. These are Sticky Club stickers. I put a little book there because it made me think of Anne Frank's diary, and a piece of pet tape, which I think was gifted to me. And I can't remember who by, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know why. I just thought it went with Anne Frank. I don't know why. Who, of course, had such an incredibly sad end to her life. It just breaks your heart. Anyway, that's an appropriate emotion, isn't it? Feeling sad about a sad thing is appropriate. Here's my next quotation, and this one says, "Your emotions make you human. Even the unpleasant ones have a purpose. Don't lock them away. If you ignore them, they just get louder and angrier. So the thought here is don't suppress your emotions. If you have an emotion, you've got to experience it and think about why you're experiencing and what its purpose is, and explore it and work through it. So I thought that was a really good quotation. And I'd never heard of Sabaa Tahir. So I looked her up, and she is a novelist and she's written novels for young people. So I purchased one of her novels because I thought, oh, I'm going to read it and see what it's like, because I really like this quotation and I thought there might be more interesting insights in her novel. So I'll let you know what I think of it. And I've just decorated that with more of my coffee stickers, and this is a coffee washi tape that my sister gifted to me, which is lovely. More coffee. And here's my next quotation. I've only got a couple more, one more. This one I thought was interesting. She says, this is Charlotte Bronte, so another novelist. Novelists are very good at giving us, and poets are very good at giving us interesting insights into the human condition, aren't they? And Charlotte Bronte writes, crying is not a sign that you are weak. Since birth, it has always been a sign that you are alive. I thought that was really interesting, because I think there's this, certainly in the culture in England, there's this sort of thought that you shouldn't cry too much, especially for a man. I mean, men, they don't cry, which is ridiculous, because of course they cry, and why shouldn't they cry if they're sad? Crying does serve a purpose, but there's also this idea that crying is a negative thing, that you're weak if you cry because you can't control it. And so I really like this interesting reason for thinking that crying is not a negative thing, but a sign that you are alive, that you're experiencing. So there's my girl. I've used a different pet tape here, also from London Gifties, and she's pondering this quotation, I think. She's just sitting there. So I've got some more scraps of paper. I've done some stamping with some Distress Oxide ink. Got a little bit of washi tape here, little label under my sticker. So I have one quotation left, which I will decorate this page with you while I'm here. And this is a good one. Okay, so for those of you that know me, you'll know that I have a mental health disorder, that about 7 years ago, my therapy was interrupted very suddenly because the therapist that I had closed her practice, and it devastated me. And I've just started therapy again, but it took me 7 years to get over that feeling of betrayal, which is totally unjustified. I'm sure she had a very good reason for closing her practice, but I don't know what it is. And I felt that my trust, the trust that I'd worked so hard to place in her, was just devastated. And I thought, I'm never going to be able to get over that. I'll never be able to go to therapy again because I can't take that risk of being hurt in that way. But I think this quotation is one of the things that made me think that's nonsense. Of course you can go again. You've just got to build up trust again with somebody new. And so this quotation says, trust is not a gasoline-soaked blanket that succumbs to the matches of betrayal, never able to be used for warmth again. It's a tapestry that wears thin in places but can be patched over if you have the right materials, circumstances and patience to repair it. If you don't, you are always the one who feels coldest when winter comes. So I think that's a lovely use of imagery to explain that even when you feel your trust has been betrayed, you can still go ahead and build trust with somebody else. And if you don't, your life will be the poorer for it. So that was from AJ Darkholme. And I don't know if I looked up who that is. I don't know who that is. So if anybody knows, tell me, or I can look it up, can't I? So let's decorate this page together. And I'm going to continue on the topic of emotions for a bit longer because it seems like it's really relevant to what I'm doing at the moment in therapy. So I do want to decorate my page though. So how am I going to do that? So I've got one of these quotations where it's in across the middle of the page, and I always think they're more of a challenge. I don't know why I do that. It's because they're more of a challenge to decorate. But I'm going to start. I like putting a box around them. I don't always, but I quite like it. So I'm going to do that. And of course, I'm far too impatient to do it properly and neatly and measure or anything. I just eyeball it. And I'm going to do my box in a kind of staggered way, I think, with like a little piece coming down here and a piece across here. There's not really much room to do much in the way of decoration, is there? Because it was quite a lengthy quotation. There we go. So I just used a colour pencil. Now I just grabbed the first one that was in front of me, and I've chosen a rusty colour. So I've already distressed my pages. I'm going to get out my distress ink in Rusty Hinge because I think that goes with that rusty colour. Shall I use one of these pegs? Oh, I haven't drawn down there. There we go. And I'm going to use one of these pegs to peg it. It's Clues pegs. Let's go with the red one. And the washi tape is fairly transparent, so you don't have to cut right through. Let's pop it there. There we go. I think we need, should we use the other peg too? Because, you know, one peg is going to flop down, isn't it? I'm thinking of it as like a sheet. Let's put one there. There we go. It's going to flop down now, isn't it? But never mind. Right, I want some washi tape. Or shall I do some stamping? I'm going to do some stamping first. So let's grab these ones and put some splashes. And I'm going to put 3. So I'm going to put one there, and one, oops. Need to push it over a bit. One there. Cool. Just going to get a cloth to clean my stamp. Oh, these smell lovely with the tea tree oil. I need to fill that up again because I've been using them. So I'm going to put that one back in there. So just a little bit of stamping. Then I'm going to grab some washi tape. And I'm going to put a little piece there. And a little piece down here. Like so. And I'm just going to grab my tin that's full of little bits of ephemera. Oh, that looks like a nice size. Shall I use that or the mushroom? Oh, I like the mushroom. And what have we got here? Oh, a little splash of colour. Should we go with a little splash of colour? I can't decide. I've got a little tiny labely thing there. What else have I got that's small? Oh, there's some more bits. It's a small piece. Oh, I think that colour will be better than that one. Always hard to choose. Do I want something coffee related? Maybe. Let's pop those down first. And then maybe I can find a nice little coffee sticker. Don't want to go over my page number. And then we've I've got this little tiny piece of pet tape that I've already cut out. And that can go, where shall I put that one? There. And then I think I want to put some rub-on dots. So let's grab some of those. These are from LCN Design Studio. I'll go with the orangey coloured ones. So let's grab some of those. And these are little rub-on stickers. I'm going to pop those there. Ooh, maybe a little bit further along. That's better. Just rub them, which transfers them to the page. Ooh. Not entirely sure that's worked. That's got in a right old pickle. Look at the state of that. Oh well. That's life. But luckily, I think it still looks cool. I don't mind when things go wrong because I don't think it matters. I'm just having a look to see if I've got any more decorative pieces. Let's see, have I got anything? I'm thinking something like this here would be cool. So I'm just going to take those, cut out that tiny little bit there of pet tape. And then I can just stick it here. Hang on, it feels wonky. Ooh. Can't get it off. I can't get it off, so it'll just have to stay there slightly wonky. Oh dear. And the last thing I wanted was some kind of coffee sticker. So let's see if we got any small enough. So I've got these lovely sheets. Oh, I like that one. Ooh, which one shall I pick? I also like that one. Oh, and that one. I like them all. Which one shall I go for? I'm going to go for that one. Let's go straight over that mushroom. Now, what has coffee got to do with mushrooms? Absolutely nothing, but it looks pretty, so I'm happy. So there we go. That's my entries so far on the topic of emotions. If any of you've got a quotation on emotions that you think is meaningful, interesting, or that you agree with or disagree with, do pop it down in the comments for me. I would really love to see anything that you have to contribute, and then I can put those into my book too. So thank you very much everybody for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.